Hey everyone, I'm talking about the effects of sleep deprivation on teenagers today. The reason I chose this topic is because I am a teenager myself, and also I'm going through the same problem, that lack of sleep. I listed 5 reasons that might cause the lack of sleep for teenagers. And first, the most important reason I believe is because late night studies. I felt I felt this occurred in my life, especially when I became a high school senior, when I had to deal with a lot of college applications and the hard schoolwork at the same time. I was taking 3 AP classes when I was a senior, and I believe a lot of students in this country had to go through the same process as I did when I was a senior. Also, when I got into college, I feel there are a lot of projects or essays I have to do, and sometimes 3 or 4 classes just had the same due date. So the library is open pretty late, and sometimes when there are 12 a.m. in the morning, the library is still filled with students. Second is, I believe the gaming system caused the lack of sleep during break time when students are out of schools. Um, for example, during summer or Christmas, a lot of teenagers will decide to play video game with their friends because they do not have the time when they're in school. So many of them will play video game until 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. That's pretty usual for many teenagers in this country these days. And third, I believe parties and many social events can cause lack of sleep for teenagers, especially for college students like us. There are a lot of fraternities or parties that hold by student groups in college, and those parties usually can go until 3 or 4 in the morning, especially that's the school located in big cities. Statistically, it shows those parties, they have more parties, and the parties goes, some of the party go through the entire night. Fourth reason is because increased use of smart cell phones. I believe many of you have the same feeling if you're around my age, that when you decide to go to bed at 11, then you want to check all the social network on your phone. The next thing you know is 2 hours later, you just finished checking all the status your friends updated at that day, but you do not go to bed early because there are so many things you can do on your smartphone. The last reason, but not the least, is I believe the high pressure from the schools and the parents can be a very, very important reason for the students not to go to bed early. I know many friends that have to take sleeping pills or use outside help to go to bed just because that's pressure from the school or their parents that make them very paranoid even when they try to go to bed. As a member of this young generation, the sleep deprivation also affects my life. From personal experience, I would say the lack of sleep does not only affect you academically, it also affects you when you try to do sports, and also affect your health. And here are all the reasons I collected, and these are direct quotes from many scientific works that prove the lack of sleep can affect teenagers in many areas. First, as many of you won't think of, sleep deprivation is also one reason that causes teenager obesity problems. It's this direct quote saying, teens experiencing difficulty initiating sleep have higher BIMs ranging from 0.86 to 0.41 units. Efforts to address childhood obesity need to take into consideration sleep problems that are highly prevalent among teenagers. This actually shocked me when I do the research because I did not know that sleep deprivation was one reason that can cause child obesity. And the scientists found out that especially in fully developed country like USA, the children can get more resources and more food And also, they have a lot of work to do when they go to school. So the child obesity is actually one large problem in fully developed countries such as USA. Second, I have personal experience from that sometimes when I try to pull all-nighter before finals and try to study all the materials I need to know, but I actually do not record those materials as much as I wish I would when I take the final exams. But when I decide to go to bed early before finals, actually my brain will record many of the stuff I learned during daytime, and I can take the finals easier than when I put all-nighter before them. Because sleep deprivation can decrease the efficiency of the students when they study next day. And this problem will increasingly affect you when you try to study the next day or after you get only 2 or 3 hours of sleep at night, because you can't work as well as you think you would the next day. And also, the third effect, I found out that the lack of sleep might put teenagers in fertile mode and affect their performance in normal life. I believe many of you have the experience that when you pull all-nighter, you only have 1 or 2 sleep time at night, you have a really bad mood the next day, and you do not want to talk to anyone, or you do not want to intervene into any activities that you're usually interested in. I was a high school wrestler, and I was wrestling for 4 years, but I absolutely love that sport. But every time when I have to study until like 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning, the only thing I want to do the next day is to sleep. I do not want to study. I do not want to pay attention in classes. I do not want to wrestle. So sleep deprivation actually affects you not just in academic field as you think you will as a student. It will also affect you during normal life. When you try to talk to your family, when you try to talk to your friends, when you try to do the activities you're usually interested in, the sleep deprivation can put you in a really bad mood, and you just can't control to not to get interested into the stuff that you usually want to do during daytime when you're not sleeping. It's this quote saying, any prolonged sleep deprivation will affect your mood, energy level, and ability to focus, concentrate, and learn, which directly affects your academic performance. And also the second quote, the brain do not get to rest when studies stay up late at night, and this night cause many problems in teenagers' life. The point I'm trying to make here is when teenagers lack of sleep, it actually decrease the efficiency of their work, but not helping them. So I believe one thing that society can do is to push back the school time in the morning, maybe till 9 to 10 a.m. Instead, we can have more 6 p.m. classes for the teenagers, and then it can prolong the time they sleep, and actually it can increase the sleeping time they have. So in order to increase the efficiency they have when they are in school, because I believe the teachers and the parents do not want the students just blank out in their brain when they sit in the class just because they have to do their homework pretty late the day before. Thank you.